Hey everyone, JMDDS here, back with another video. I just finished working out, so I'm a little bit high on life right now. But I just really quickly wanted to bring you guys, I wanted to talk about two fragrances that I absolutely love. Couldn't imagine spring without these two fragrances. So I wanted to talk about them really quickly. If you all didn't see, I did a previous video about two other fragrances that I like to layer. Highly recommend that video if you haven't seen it. It's about YSL's L'Homme and La Nuit de L'Homme. I like to layer those two because individually, you know, when I wear those individually, I get really poor performance. As a lot of people have reported poor performance with those fragrances. But when I like I said, when I layer these two, some kind of magic happens on my skin, and I absolutely love how that smells when those two are layered and they're projecting off my skin. So I'm going to leave that video linked in the description box down below. If you haven't seen that video, go ahead and give it a like and a thumbs up, please. But in this video, I'm going to be talking about two fragrances in my collection that I absolutely love. If you saw my spring list, you will know that this was way up there for me. I believe it was top 3 or top 5. But I can't imagine having my collection without these two fragrances right here. And actually, one of these fragrances I love more than the other. And so the fragrances that I'm going to be talking about here are going to be Prada's L'Homme. So this is Prada L'Homme. And its counterpart is Prada L'Homme Intense. So Prada L'Homme Intense. So what I like to do with these two bad boys right here is I love to layer them. Yes, even in warmer weather, I know Prada L'Homme Intense it performs much better, or it should be worn. Not that it should be, but you know, it's better suited for colder weather. So what they did with Prada L'Homme Intense, they kind of took away the neroli note that's in here. They kind of upped the iris a little bit. They definitely upped the patchouli in here. So you're gonna get lots of patchouli in here and some added tonka bean as well. And it just makes it a beautiful, beastly, just darker version of Prada L'Homme. Which, I mean, this on its own as a standalone fragrance is already gorgeous, y'all. I mean, I highly recommend this fragrance. It's beautiful, it's classy, it's elegant, it's sophisticated. Daniela Roche, man, shout out to her. She knows what she's doing when it comes to Prada fragrances. But in my opinion, they made Prada L'Homme Intense. It's just a little bit better. In my opinion, to my nose, I like it a little bit more than Prada L'Homme. I'm just a fan of darker, juicier scents like this. That's what I prefer. But I mean, if you like freshy, soapy, clean scents, this is the one for you, honestly. And I mean, you know, and for spring, this is a lot better suited for spring. And so what I like to do, when I like to get this, when I'm in the mood for this, but with some added patchouli and tonka bean, because I love me some tonka bean. So I layer this as my base. I put this first. I spray a few sprays on my neck and my arms, my forearms, sometimes my wrist, and then I add this on top. I add Prada L'Homme on top. And what you're going to get is basically, you're going to get Prada L'Homme Intense. Yeah, no pun intended, right? But yes, you're going to get an intense version of this guy, but with neroli and with a little bit more iris and amber. So, you know, this doesn't have the neroli that this has. And, you know, truthfully speaking, I'm not like the biggest fan of neroli out there, but they just blended neroli so beautifully in here. I'm like forced to love it. It's honestly like Dunhill's Icon, that neroli note. I mean, man, it's beautiful. And I'm not the biggest fan of neroli, honestly. I've owned a couple of neroli fragrances. I had to return them or sell them because I just couldn't stand that neroli note. But in here, it's just so beautifully blended. It's just really well done. Oh man, yeah. So, and that's what you're basically gonna get when you layer these two guys. You're just gonna get an intenser version of this, which is what kind of I wish this should have been, but no, it's even if it's not, it's totally fine, because again, this is this has that tonka bean and the added tonka bean, excuse me, and the and it doesn't have the neroli in there as well, and it has that, and they up the patchouli as well. So when it dries down, you're just gonna get basically this as your base, but with just a little bit more, with just a little bit more brighter version of this, which is, in my opinion, just beautiful for spring. It works magic on my skin when I layer these two guys. I actually have a date tonight. I'm gonna be rocking these two fragrances. I'm gonna be layering the hell out of them, and my girlfriend, she absolutely loves when I wear this scent. She doesn't know that I'm wearing two scents in one. She just knows that she loves how I smell, and she is honestly just a big fan of the magic that happens when I layer these two. As the same goes with YSL's L'Homme and La Nuit de L'Homme. So again, I highly recommend these two scents if you don't have them already. If you don't have the finances for one, for both, and you can only afford one over the other, it just depends on your taste, honestly. If you like brighter, fresher, cleaner, soapier scents, then this is definitely by far you're gonna get the best bang for your buck here. But if you're a fan of those darker, kind of more gourmandy kind of scents, not that this is a gourmand, it's just that the tonka bean in here just kind of makes it a little bit sweet, which is awesome for me, because again, like I said before, I love tonka bean. So if you're a fan of the darker stuff, and if you love patchouli with a twist, with a little bit of iris in it, then this is definitely the fragrance for you. Again, this is a little bit softer, brighter, but they're both, even though this is a little bit darker, these are both incredibly elegant and sophisticated, and they just exude class. For a designer, this is honestly as good as it gets for a designer, as far as exuding that classy and sophisticated vibe. For a designer, I mean, these are incredibly well done. So shout out to Prada for that. But anyway, let me know what you all think. Leave a comment in the comment section down below. Like this video if you like my recommendation. Go ahead and watch my other video on YSL's L'Homme and La Nuit de L'Homme that I have on layering those two. And please subscribe to my channel. When I get to 1,000 subscribers, I promise y'all, when I get to 1,000, I'm gonna start doing giveaways and decants from fragrances from my collection. And again, I'm gonna be bringing more videos coming up soon. So go ahead and stay tuned for that. Thank you all so much. Have a blessed day. Peace.